Now we are going to discuss about GST. We would like to cover entire GST law, entire GST subject in a different stages. We will segregate the entire law into different chapters like introduction or registration, levy of tax. Likewise, we will segregate it and we will discuss one by one so that we can understand the GST law in better way. We will upload small audio videos also of different concept like casual taxable person, non-resident taxable person, YDR services, aggregate turnover, what is composition, like that. Even though it is a simple concept, but it is very important to understand GST. Now I will start with the introduction. My name is Ramachandra. My email ID and contact numbers also mentioned in the slides, so that you can contact me over phone or email also if you have any confusion or any doubts. Now GST in India. With effect from 1st July 2017, the historic indirect tax reform GST was introduced. GST law was extended to Jammu and Kashmir on 8th July 2017. Earlier, because of some restrictions, all the laws are not applicable to Jammu and Kashmir. After removal of Article 370, all the acts are applicable to Jammu and Kashmir also. GST is a path-breaking indirect tax reform which attempts to create a common national market. A common national market is very important. I will recall once again in all chapters, because this is the main intention of implementing the GST. Earlier law, indirect taxes not able to provide the common national market. That's why GST was implemented. GST has subsumed multiple indirect taxes like excise duty, service tax, VAT, CST, luxury tax, entertainment tax, octroi, entry tax, etc. Most of the countries follow unified GST, that is a single tax applicable throughout the country. But because of our governance structure, a single tax is not suitable for India. That is why we adopted dual GST model. That means under dual GST model, GST is levied by both center and state governments. Now we briefly discuss about what is the need for GST. First one, avoid double taxation. Just I will go through briefly. That's why just I am taking one example for double taxation. Earlier, software attracts both service tax and VAT or CST as the case may be. Why? Because there was no clarity that whether software comes under service or supply. Because of lack of clarity, all the companies charging service tax and VAT or CST. It was a double taxation actually, but there is no other way. Now, this difficulty, GST overcome this difficulty. Second one, SENVAT did not include a chain of value addition in the distributive trade below the stage of production. That means no SENVAT after manufacturing stage. For example, a manufacturer, that means excise duty is applicable on manufacturer. Once goods manufactured, he is liable to pay excise duty. It was I am talking about pre-GST regime. Once goods produced, if he sold it to another manufacturer, then the person who receives the goods, the manufacturer who purchased the goods from another manufacturer can take the input credit. That is called ITC. But once the manufacturer sells the goods to a dealer, the dealer cannot take the input credit of the excise duty. That is why I am telling SENVAT did not include chain of value addition. Though SENVAT and state level VAT were essentially value added taxes, set off of one against the credit of another was not possible, as SENVAT was the central levy and state level VAT was state levy. This SENVAT cannot be adjusted against VAT and vice versa, and service tax cannot be adjusted against VAT. VAT cannot be adjusted against service tax. All these problems existed before GST regime. Another thing, CST was non-VATable. Earlier, for the interstate transactions, CST was applicable, but CST was not VATable. It was a cost. So, to overcome all these difficulties, not only what I have listed just for the understanding, some more difficulties were existed, and to overcome all these difficulties, GST introduced as a solution. GST is a cure for ills of existing indirect tax regime. It is a cure. GST is a comprehensive tax structure covering both goods and services. That is, goods and service tax addresses the above mentioned problems. In the GST regime, the major indirect taxes have been subsumed in the ambit of GST. The erstwhile concept of manufacture or sale of goods or rendering of service are no longer applicable, since the tax is now levied on supply of goods and services, or supply of goods or services. The concept of manufacture, sale of goods, rendering services not applicable now. We will discuss about GST framework. India has adopted a dual GST model, as I already told you, in view of the federal structure of the country. Consequently, center and state simultaneously levy GST on taxable supply of goods or services, or both, which takes place within the state or union territory. How it has been implemented, we'll discuss. GST in India comprises of CGST, SGST, UTGST, IGST. CGST means Central Goods and Service Tax, SGST means State Goods and Service Tax, UTGST means Union Territory Goods and Service Tax, IGST means Integrated Goods and Service Tax. I will use the short form only. CGST levied and collected by central government, SGST levied and collected by state government or union territories with legislature, UTGST levied and collected by union territories without legislature on intra-state supplies. That means CGST, SGST, UTGST applicable on intra-state supplies. What is intra-state supplies? Intra-state supplies means the movement of goods or services within the state. It will not cross the boundary of a state. That means, for example, if I am a seller in Karnataka, registered in Karnataka, I am selling the goods to a place within the Karnataka. That is intra-state supplies. For intra-state supplies, CGST, SGST, Union Territory GST applicable. IGST. It is levied and collected by central government on interstate supplies. Interstate supplies means when the goods moved out of the state. Means if I am going to sell the goods from Karnataka to Gujarat, Karnataka to Mumbai, Then it is a interstate transactions. It is governed by IGST, Integrated Goods and Service Tax. IGST is the sum total of CGST, SGST and UTGST. Or AGST is the sum total of CGST and SGST or UTGST. Now, hope you understood these 3-4 tax structures. That means CGST, SGST, UTGST applicable on intrastate transactions. IGST is applicable on interstate transactions. I will take an example just to understand this concept. It will come again in further chapters. I am a supplier, taxable supplier in Karnataka, and I am going to sell goods within Karnataka. I have to charge CGST and SGST. Assume CGST is 9%, SGST is 9%. The goods I am going to sell attracts CGST at the rate of 9%, SGST at the rate of 9%. I will charge both the taxes in my invoice. Because it is an intrastate transactions, I am going to charge both the taxes. Total tax 9% plus 9% is 18%. This is intrastate transactions. Assume I am going to sell goods to Gujarat, another state, interstate transactions. Then IGST will be applicable. At what rate? It should be 18% only, not 9%. That means its IGST is a sum total of CGST and SGST. Now, union territory. We should know, not from the point of view of examination, but we should know the union territory with the legislature, union territory without legislature, and what is UTGST, all those things. A union territory is directly under the governance of the central government. This differentiates them from states which have their own elected governments. Currently, there are 7 union territories in India: Chandigarh, Lakshadweep, Diu and Daman, Dadra and Nagar Haveli, Andaman and Nicobar, Delhi, Puducherry. These are the 7 union territories. Among these, Delhi and Puducherry have their own legislature with elected members and chief minister. For example, Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal. Hence, they function as a semi-state. For the GST purpose, Delhi and Puducherry considered as other states. Don't consider as a union territory, even though it comes under union territory. The SGST Act also applies to the union territories of Delhi and Puducherry. This means that on supplies within the union territories of Delhi and Puducherry, the taxes levied will be CGST plus SGST. And on the supplies from Delhi or Puducherry to another state or another union territory, the tax levied will be IGST. Just like other states. As the SGST Act cannot be applied on union territory without its own legislature, the GST Council has introduced the UTGST Act to levy a tax called UTGST in the union territories. UTGST will be levied in place of SGST in the union territories. We will take small example, 2 examples, so that you can understand this concept. For example, Furniture Center in Chandigarh supplies 50 sofa sets for rupees 10 lakhs to Mata Wood Industries in Chandigarh. Please understand the question. The state is Chandigarh. It is union territory without a legislature. Seller, Furniture Center. Purchaser, Mata Wood Industries. Both seller and purchaser situated in same state, means same union territory, Chandigarh. That is why it is a intra-state transactions. Seller is Furniture Center, buyer is Mata Wood Industry. Both are situated in Chandigarh. That is why it is a intra-state transaction. This is the supply within the Union Territory of Chandigarh, assuming the GST rate of 12% on sofa sets. The tax calculation in this case will be as follows. Sofa sets 10 lakhs, basic value 10 lakhs. CGST at the rate of 6%, 60,000. UTGST at the rate of 6%, 60,000. Total 11 lakh 20,000 is the total invoice value including GST. Here CGST is the central levy on intrastate and UTGST is the levied in the place of SGST. The only difference is in the place of SGST we have to charge UTGST because it is a union territory without legislature. Otherwise, if we assume that instead of Chandigarh it was Maharashtra, then CGST 6%, SGST 6%. That's all. That's only difference. The only difference here is that the supplies within the Union Territory, UTGST will be levied in the place of SGST. I will take one more example. Furniture Center in Chandigarh supplies 50 sofa sets for rupees 10 lakhs to Ramesh Furniture Town in Delhi. Here Furniture Center is the supplier. Ramesh Furniture Town situated in Delhi is the purchaser. The value 10 lakhs. Since goods moved out of Chandigarh to Delhi, it is interstate transactions. The supply outside the Union Territory of Chandigarh, assuming a GST rate of 12% also here on sofa sets, the calculation of this case in this case will be as follows. Sofa sets basic value 10 lakhs, IGST 12%, IGST at the rate of 12%, 1 lakh 20,000. Total invoice value including GST is 11 lakh 20,000. Similar to levy of tax on supplies outside the state, IGST will be applicable on the supplies outside the Union Territory. Even though it is a Union Territory, the IGST is applicable like other states. I think you understood the difference between Union Territories without legislature and other states. Now we will go for the exclusions under GST. What are the exclusions? When we importing the goods from other country, we need to pay basic custom duty. The GST is not applicable on the basic custom duty. Petroleum products like petrol, diesel, ATF, natural gas, crude oil excluded from the GST ambit. Alcohol for human consumption, it's also excluded. Maybe all those things comes under the GST in future. Right now it is excluded. Stamp duty and real estate also excluded from the GST. Now classification of goods and services. The goods are classified under GST as a HSN, Harmonized System of Nomenclature. The same mentioned in the Customs Tariff Act 1975, the same is applicable to GST also, HSN code. And for services, SAC. A service classification code used for the classification of goods. That means for the goods HSN, for services SAC. Now we will discuss composition scheme. We will discuss elaborately this composition scheme in future, but right now for the understanding purpose. In GST regime, tax is payable by every taxable person, and in this regard provisions have been prescribed in the law. However, for providing relief to small businesses, primarily manufacturers, suppliers of food articles, traders, etc., making intrastate supplies, a simpler method of paying tax is prescribed, known as composition levy. Further, for small service providers also, a scheme prescribing concessional rate of tax has been formulated. It means that is a composition scheme is applicable for the intrastate, and for the small suppliers like food articles and other traders, it is applicable. From this we completed the introduction. It is very simple. Next we will go for the registration. It is a very important chapter for the examination point of view. Thank you, students.